What's going on, everyone?
Yes, good evening. Good to be back in the saddle.
It is.
Yeah, it's been which I didn't know. I know you messaged me earlier and said was I going to be able to be in studio tonight? I said I think so, but I really wasn't certain until maybe about 24 hours ago that my wife will be back in town and
we need to. I feel we need to give a toast.
Yes. So what are you drinking tonight?
Well, it's a good one. So it's Woodford Double Oaked.
I've got a bottle at my house.
Yeah.
But yes, and I guess kind of explain why I've been out of pocket the last couple of weeks. My father-in-law passed away. Was in a bad accident. Unfortunately, didn't make it. And he doesn't live here or didn't live here. My wife, grew up about 3 hours from here, and so she's been out of town an awful lot. First with him in the hospital, and then dealing with all the things that you deal with after someone like that passes. But he was an early times man. Now he liked to mix.
Yeah.
So that's which I'll
Did you mix yours tonight?
I didn't. We actually had his funeral was just yesterday, and we had a toast to him after the funeral, kind of after we had a meal. And which our Middle Tennessee guys and gals will appreciate this because they're from Murray County. He drank Early Times and Sundrop.
Okay, Sundrop. You can't really see those around here.
I was about to say, do you even know what Sundrop is?
I do, but you don't see them very much.
I never knew what it was until I went to college.
Really?
And for those of you not from like the southern Middle Tennessee area where Sundrop is like, they drink it like water.
It's like a 7-Up, pretty much.
Yeah, 7-Up, Mountain Dew, like it's a citrus soda.
Yeah.
I'm sure with an enormous amount of sugar, I guess like a Mountain Dew.
Next week I'll drink some of that.
But yeah, he so we all did have a drink of so we're officially from now on that Sundrop in Early Times is called the Gary.
Okay.
And so I've got.
I think can't you get some Sundrop around here?
I think you can. Man, I gave up soft drinks.
Oh, I did too.
Years ago. I mean,
yeah.
That was one of the easiest things that I ever gave up. And so we don't even keep. Like when my in-laws would come visit, he would bring, Sundrop. Even my mother-in-law brings like her Diet Cokes. Like,
we're the same way. We pretty much got water at our house.
Or
whiskey.
I'm not a total health nut. That's just one thing I just don't drink. But yeah, we had a Gary yesterday. Yeah, tonight I am just drinking just Early Times.
Next week, let's have the Gary on the show. We'll drink those.
I can bring some Sundrop because I've got some. But yeah, it's been, it was unexpected. It has been a rough couple of weeks.
And he's a cattleman. He was a cattleman.
Yes, no, absolutely was. I'm kind of, some of the stuff I've got going on involves helping get that kind of sort of stuff sorted out. He had decided to sell all his cows, which his health had not been great.
Yeah. Actually,
last winter, he had called me. He's like, hey, I want you to come up here, whatever cows that you think you'd like to have, pick them out, sell the rest. I was like, yeah. Well, the weather and whatnot, we just never got around to doing it. And because he didn't have enough hay for the winter. And so he's like, we'll just get up here. He had bought some more hay to get through. And then, of course, spring came. He's like, well, let's just leave them up here. I got plenty of pasture. But by this fall, we're going to get them out of there. So really, I was needing to get up there
this time
anyway.
Yeah.
We just hadn't gotten around to doing it. And so, yeah, I think I'm probably going to be back up there this weekend. And it's going to take me at least probably 2 or 3 trips up there. Unfortunately, he's not here for me to. I know some of his cows. I don't know all of them.
Yeah.
Some of them he and I had bought together. So I got to get up there and just from a total farm standpoint. Yeah. And he didn't have really a facility set up to be able to work through them and whatnot. So I think I'm probably going to end up bringing most of the cows here to get them preg checked and whatnot. And, the animals that are, need to be sold or obviously, whatnot, we'll haul them. Because that's a lot more cattle country where he's from.
Yeah, for
Murray
sure.
County, in that area. We sold some cows this week. My brother and I both did.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
And we shipped them. They sold them about 30 minutes away from.
Really?
We sold them in Dixon, so just up the road from them. So they did good. They did real good. And the market actually took a tumble. We had and you'll appreciate this because y'all deal with it on the crop side too. The cattle on feed report came out last Friday.
Dropped the prices.
It was bearish as shit. Yeah. But it was annoying, and but it actually, I saw a funny.
Hey, hold on. Let's toast to Gary real quick before we get to.
That is yeah, but it's been rough. My wife officially got back home. She's
been gone for a while. Yeah,
in the last 2+ weeks because she was out of town when it happened. Unfortunately, it was just terrible time, which is never good. She's been home for 3 of like the last 16 nights.
Yeah.
But then she got back home this afternoon. We had a T-ball game tonight, and she made it in town. Well, actually, she made it in town, plenty of time for that. She picked the kids up from school, but knew she wanted to get back in town in time to see her baby boy play ball. And
yeah,
hey, postseason baseball tournament. We're playing a postseason tournament, and we won. So we keep on playing.
Well, there you go.
We just keep on playing. Play again tomorrow night. But,
good deal.
Yeah, I saw when that report came out, like on Friday, somebody, I liked it on Twitter. It said pretty much, it said all these, like maybe what everybody was pissed off about, because we've known the cattle supply has been really tight lately.
Yeah.
Like just numbers are down. And so, all the reports come out have been very bullish. Like prices are up and prices are still good. But or I guess he went on X. You can't call it Twitter anymore. So his conspiracy. What if the aliens are bringing back all the cows they've abducted over the years? And that's what's adding to all the cattle on feed numbers. Because most people, and I know all the conspiracy theorists think that the USDA manipulates these numbers to jack up the markets.
Yeah.
Well, that's people they're like, there's no way there's that many cattle on feed. That can't be right.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is frustrating the way
it'll like tank the market.
Speculators, the huge sell off, and but now we were happy. Our steers, my brother sold a big group of steers. I had a few that kind of fit with his that I threw on the truck too.
Make about $500 a head.
He did end up making about that much.
Dang, really? Man, that's big cheese.
Oh yeah. He was he was kind of being, he's like, I guess I was like, dude. Like we've always said,
$200 is pretty dang good.
We've always said $100 a head. You need that just to make it worth your time.
Yeah,
because we don't factor in our time. We figure in our cost, and we say $200 a head is like gravy. And yeah, I was like, dude, no, he was smiling pretty big.
I would imagine.
But, our steers, he had the bulk of his averaged over 900. The few that I sent up there averaged nearly 900, and they were all bringing over $2,000.
Hey,
nearly $2,100 a head. So I sold the heifers. Didn't do as well, which heifers always are sell a little back from the steers. But these were the heifers that didn't get bred, and naturally there was a few duds in there, and so now and I didn't stay up. We didn't get to go up there and watch them sell, and I didn't even really call to ask the office what my check was going to be or anything. I just waited till I got it in the mail today. When I ripped that envelope open and peeked in there and saw just the total dollar amount, I was like, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
And there's been plenty of times I've done that and been like, what the 4-letter words start flying.
Yeah.
And you're trying to figure out.
You're like Clark Griswold.
Yeah. Like,
if this isn't the biggest, what does he say? Biggest punch in the gut.
Oh, he goes on a tirade. My brother did have one, and I had one heifer that she just looked like crap. I knew she wasn't gonna do any good, and she didn't. And this always annoys you. He had one steer that had a bad foot. It was nothing terrible, but he was lame. But it's been like that all summer. It was. Of course, the guys, when they see him come to the sale ring, they don't know those details. And Drew made a good point too. He's like, who knows how lame he might have been after making a truck ride there? He may have been a little worse. We even said we need to sort him back. And I'll just feed him out this winter.
Yeah.
He's totally fine.
Yeah.
He just limps. But he's going to be.
I was going to say he's a steer. He ain't a breeder. So what difference does it make?
Well, and they do worry about, okay, when he gets to be 1,500 pounds, is he going to break down and not be able to get up and go? Which is the other good thing about it. If I had fed him out, I wasn't going to feed him to that size.
Yeah.
He might be 1,300 pounds. But he's like, of course, they sorted him off and sold him individually, and yeah.
Smoked him on it?
Yeah, smoked him on it pretty good. I'm like, yeah, I should have just kept him for that. Like,
Yeah.
I'd have fed him for you and just given him back to you, basically, probably put in the freezer. But no, we were tickled. That's what my wife said. She's like, is this all of them? I was like, no. I was like, the bred heifers I still hadn't sold. And if I can get what I think I ought to for them or even close to it,
You'll be getting another tractor.
well, we'll be paying back the operating loan.
Hey,
Farm credit will get their money.
I understand. That's where I'm at. Before I get in, hey guys, it's approaching Christmas time, and Ag-Zag, you need to go on there. They got their sale on the toys. Running, and you need to check it out. Ertl. Yeah. I don't know the horse one.
The Briar horses, Ertl, Big Country, Little Buster. But you actually, if you're on Facebook, you need to be following them on Facebook because they're doing daily flash sales.
Okay.
And I'm not a Facebooker, but they put a lot of that on Instagram too, like flash sale, 1 day only. But they got all the toys. I was kind of scrolling around looking at, I was specifically looking at the Briar horses because my daughter's into that sort of thing. And heck, a lot of those were marked down already. So
yeah, well, y'all go check them out. Use the code TALKDIRT, all caps, all one word. Get you 10%
stock up
off
for Christmas.
Yep.
Harvest. You done?
I'm 1 day away,
and it's gonna rain.
I'm hoping I can finish, tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, there's a little chance tonight.
There's a chance tonight and a little chance in the morning, but it was like last time I looked, it was like 30 to 40%. We parked everything and like everything's covered and all that, but I got 35 acres to go in one field.
I'm sure you looked ahead at the forecast for next week.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. It's going to be cold.
Well, that's one thing I was looking at. So, I mentioned T-balls in postseason.
Yeah.
If we win tomorrow night, we don't play again until next Wednesday.
Nice and nipply out there.
I guess they didn't want to play on Halloween, and I guess there's other games going on Monday, and so we don't play till Wednesday. I'm like, oh yeah, the high Wednesday's like 49, which that's comfortable.
Yeah, I'm excited,
those
man.
Little kids will be, but yeah, I think it's gonna be down in the 20s that night.
Yeah,
and we play at 6, so it won't be that cold. But
I know where I'm gonna probably put my bud in a deer stand next week.
Well, that's what I was talking to. Actually, one of the other dads on the team. He said I've already told him. He said I put in for time off next week. So I said, what do you need time off for? And he said, I ain't gonna be like these other boys around here and lie to you. He's like, I'm going deer hunting.
Yeah.
He said I'll take vacation days. I ain't just gonna call in sick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's what I'm looking at that. But no, I got 1 day. We got messed up. My other driver, he got COVID, and he got like.
I've known another person or two here lately that's had it.
Well, he was violently ill.
Really?
Like,
is he okay now?
He's good now, but I mean, it was
just fever and feeling
fever
terrible?
And projectile vomiting like crazy.
And that's not, I guess, with these damn new strains. Was this like the Omega strain?
Something, yeah, whatever. Alpha, Omega. No, but he was like nonstop barfing for like 3 days straight.
Woo!
So I was like, man, like he went to the hospital because he was so sick, and like I've told him, like basically stay away. I think he's going to come back tomorrow and start helping out.
Just stay in the truck.
Yeah, but so that slowed us down. Luckily, Derek's been hauling in the white truck, and I've been hauling. I've been actually jumping in the purple truck and hauling it. So that has slowed us down. I would say if he didn't get sick, we probably would have finished about 2 days ago. But man, it's I'm hoping to move. If the rain don't mess us up tomorrow, I'm hoping to move. And man, I'll cut my last beans for this year.
Yeah. How much Circle H like?
I don't know. They still like several hundred, I know. But
okay. I saw where they were moved to this morning when I took kids to school.
Yeah, he was like, he wants me to cut a place that I was up there near. And then I got to thinking, hell, I got one guy right now. He's got 3 and they're 10 minutes away. I'm like, why do I got to go back and cut it? But and I'm going to be backtracking. So we'll see. I may cut it. But yeah, it's, this will be the earliest that I'll have ever finished.
Yeah.
Like I've never been done in October. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped, but get it done. And then it's immediately on to a track hoe. I got I'm like drowning in track hoe work I got to do. So
continuing to clean up the same place or?
I've got 2 other fields I got to clean up now.
Yeah.
So I've added to them, and One of them.
When you get done, just move it down to my place. And
got some stuff you need to
still
clear
got
down.
Tornado damp, just trees
really?
that are down out in the pasture. I mean, they're not hurting a whole lot. But
Yeah. Just buy you a good cheap track hoe.
Yeah.
You know, all that stuff's real cheap.
Yeah, a good cheap one. Yeah, that's an oxymoron.
Yeah, my big Volvo is apparently like severely effed up. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, like it's bad out of shape. Like apparently, like Scott Equipment's got to come out and work on it. Like Volvo's got to come out. They've been looking at it. They've been trying to figure out what's going on. And my hydraulic system is contaminated, they said, with metal and like something else. So something is going down, and they're afraid it's the pump, which is about $6,000 or $7,000 for just the pump. That doesn't include the labor to put the pump on.
$6,000 worth of labor.
Yeah, like I told the guy, I said, dude, heavy equipment. I said, I thought like farming equipment was expensive. Heavy machinery is like leaps and bounds worse. That's the most expensive stuff. I feel like there's nothing. I've never had work done on my track hoe that didn't cost me at least $1,000.
Yeah.
Like you can have some work done on your combine or tractor and it might be $400 or $500. Everything's at least $1,000 on a track hoe.
Yeah.
And like getting above $10,000, that ain't even a big deal for them. That's like easy to go over 10,000 on them. I mean,
yeah.
So but the problem is, and I told the guy this when we were talking, I said, dang man, that makes me want to just, part of me's like, I need to just sell the Volvo and just get a better track hoe. But I said, what's a track hoe that size cost? Because that's a 330. It's a big 85,000 pound machine. He said, new one's about $300,000. And
that didn't surprise me.
No. And I said, well, I think I paid $45,000 for that track hoe.
Yeah.
Now, it's been a great track hoe. I can't complain. And it's so huge that it actually made it cheaper when I bought it. Like nobody wanted one that big. But it's perfect for what I do with it, man. It is a clearing machine because it's got so much freaking power and it's so heavy. But yeah, that's where I'll be on a track hoe, and I've got about 80. I've got probably 200 acres nearly I got to work on before next season. So got a long way to go. But we did want to get into. So we still got some more listener questions. We had mentioned we would do the Skinwalker Ranch for our Halloween episode. We will. It's just going to be next week. We're going to do a delayed Halloween episode.
It'll still be the week of Halloween.
Is next week still? Oh, yeah. It'll be right after.
Right. Yeah. Halloween's on Tuesday. Of course, the episode will come out on Friday. So.
Yeah. All right.
Hopefully, which you have your Christmas tree up yet?
No, but I went in Home Depot. They got all their Christmas stuff out.
One of my neighbors has lights up, and I'm pretty sure they've had them up for like a couple of weeks now.
Wow, they already got their Christmas lights up.
And it's a crazy thing there. You know, the whole redneck joke. You know, people leave lights up all year. No, it is the newest and nicest house. So it's not like the rednecks. The newest and nicest house on our road.
And they've already got
the house
their
is
lights
like
up.
2 years old and really nice. yeah. They've been rocking them. I don't go by there a lot after dark or before daylight in the morning, but I remember I went by there. I swear it was like 2 weeks ago. They were already up. And this morning when I went by there, it wasn't quite daylight yet, and they were still on. I'm like, oh, wow, baby, they're in the spirit.
They are. Hey, and you know what? Some people will get like offended by it. I don't care. Hey, I love Christmas.
I do too.
Like I love Halloween, and I love like really we're in the greatest stretch of the year. October, November, December. That's like the best time of the year because you got Halloween and then you get Thanksgiving. So you get to eat awesome in Thanksgiving. Then you got Christmas. You get to eat awesome in Christmas. Like we're in the best eating time of the year.
Yeah. And, you know, since I had my little.
I was going to say, are you still diabetic or what is the deal here?
I was pre-diabetic. I don't go back until like March, but I've lost like 12 pounds.
Really?
I weighed this morning and I was 180 and like 180 and a half or something.
Dang.
Like, oh my gosh.
I ain't been below 200 in a long time.
I was like, dadgum. That's what they were passing out cookies after the game tonight. All the kids. And I was like, no, man. I was like, that's the thing. I'm like, when I gave up sweets and all that stuff, it's like, it's so much easier just to be cold turkey than to be like, I'll give you a
Oh,
little
I'm
bit.
sure. Yeah, if you have a little, you'd want to keep on.
And I mean, I still eat like rice and some carbs, but yeah, it's.
So you haven't eaten sweets?
Man, I eat like those zero sugar yogurts and stuff.
What are you going to do around Christmas and Thanksgiving?
Well, because like I hadn't eaten potatoes. Rice is one of the few like real carbs I eat. No pasta, no bread, no sweets. I'll cheat for at least Thanksgiving
the
Day.
holidays.
Christmas will be harder on me because, I mean, it really is more of a season.
Yeah. It is.
Well, and two, at our office, I mean, and I'm sure other professions are like this too, but our clients, like, they crush it.
I think
Christmas.
I remember you telling me they would bring stuff.
And it'll start like literally like right after Thanksgiving. Like people just start bringing us stuff, and most of it's sweets.
Yeah.
Like I would say 98% of it is sweets.
Yeah.
Like just all kinds of Christmas, goodies. And so yeah, you walk in the break room, and it's just like, damn. I try to keep me some beef jerky and stuff like that around the office, for my snacks. But yeah, the month of December will be rough.
Yeah, just make up for it afterwards.
Well, I gotta get with our buddy on getting my workout plan.
He said he keeps forgetting to call you. He's told me like 3 times.
Well, in my last couple of weeks, I've obviously been messed up. And so I've been meaning to reach back out to him and say, hey, I want to get serious about this working out. But anyway.
Yeah. All right. So I've pulled up our questions here. We still got a bunch of listener questions. And maybe next week, because I don't want to go off on this too much today, I might talk about some of the morons on the internet and address some of that stuff. I'm trying to remember which question we left off with. I need to make a note. We got, did we do this one? Love your podcast. Catch up. From a farming family, helped at my grandpa's and several uncles' farm for years. Got pulled away due to work. Started very little rope. Oh, that one is, he's just encouraging us and saying how much he enjoys the show. So that's from Alan. Alan, man, we appreciate it, man. We always appreciate hearing how much you enjoy the show. He said it's helping, giving him a lot of ideas, and not get too far in too fast. So
yeah, that's good advice.
Yes.
Lots of things.
Yeah. And he, his best line here at the end, he said, proud to be an American and support American made. That's right on, man. That's right on with our mission. Did we do this one? All right, from Luke. Hey, guys, I'm a Canadian dairy farmer. All right. I don't think that we've done this one. If I miss yours, there's still quite a few to go, so give us a couple of weeks still. But if we don't get an answer from us after about 3 weeks, submit your question again on the website, because it's a good chance that I have somehow missed it. All right, this is from Luke. Hey guys, I'm a Canadian dairy farmer and I have a small beef herd. My wife and I work with my parents on the family farm in northern Ontario on the north shore of Lake Huron. Huron? Huron. Yeah. I just want to tell you, I appreciate how you guys are open about the reality of the use of chemicals and how they are necessary to feed the world. I get very tired of hearing how we, the farmers, are horrible for using them when no one has a realistic solution. I have been enjoying catching up with your podcast this fall. Well, we are taking our terrible GMO corn off so we can make milk and beef for a bunch of ungrateful yuppies. Thanks, Luke. Couldn't agree with you more, Luke. Yeah, I mean, and that's been the biggest thing that drives me crazy when people say this. I'm like, what is a realistic solution? You don't have a realistic solution.
Yeah, well, for a lot of the privileged people in this country, it's like, well, we should all just eat organic or whatever. Like, okay, that works for you when you have disposable income where you can make decisions like that, and that's great for you.
Yep.
That's great for the farmers that are getting a premium for their organic product. That is not great for the masses who are struggling to pay their grocery bill,
living paycheck to paycheck,
or may not be able to pay a grocery bill at all. Or relying on food pantries and whatnot, not like that. Like, no, like, yeah, don't, yeah. You're coming from a real place of privilege whenever you have those kinds of opinions.
Well, that definitely shows. And that's one of the things I guess I will mention a little bit. am I talking about the solar panels and all this stuff? Like, I've had some idiots that I've had several morons that are like, well, we can afford to lose some corn and soybean acres. We have an excess of it. And I'm like, you do realize that this is actually good. Like, it's good that there is an excess because it makes everything, the prices are lower.
Not as good for the farmer.
No, it's bad for us because it makes the prices lower because there is excess. And it's like, okay, let's just keep losing it. When fuel prices go up, which the funniest thing to me is when somebody says, well, we export it to China anyway, so who cares? Like, there's been several people that are like, well, it's all going to China. Who gives a shit? And I'm like, that is just asinine. Like, we still use a bunch of that here in our own country.
And it helps, balance out because obviously we import so much crap from China.
Yeah. They need to be buying some stuff from us.
The fact that they're having to come to us for their food, gives us a hell of a lot of leverage. You know, I mean, that's kind of a good position to be in. We don't want to, and that's the one reason, probably, or maybe not the one reason, but I think that's the strongest reason why I struggle a little bit with saying just totally, end the subsidies entirely, because then if we do that and it potentially pushes us to outsourcing all of our food production, well, then we could end up the creek without a paddle if if a world war broke out or there was a global famine, and all of a sudden we're relying on South America or Africa or wherever else to import all of our food. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they say, there's not enough, we don't have enough to export. So that's, I think, the most legit argument for why we do need to continue with subsidies so we remain self-reliant.
And we're going to have to do an episode on subsidies because people also had another guy today said that soybean farmers only exist because the government is paying them to farm soybeans. I am a soybean farmer, and I don't know that I'm going to get any subsidies this year. It looks like there's probably not going to be any. Yeah. Like, the only subsidy that I get every year is they subsidize my crop insurance, and they pay a large portion of my crop insurance.
Well, I'm about to say I'm in the same boat. Like, the pasture PRF insurance we get is basically drought insurance for pasture. Yeah, it's subsidized a little.
They start.
I still have to pay a premium.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do too. Yeah,
like it's just you get a lower rate, and you can do the same thing with some livestock risk protection insurance, some things like that. But as far as just flat out getting a check from the government,
that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, we got the CFAP money, the coronavirus food assistance, whatever.
Was that back when Trump was in?
Yeah.
See, it was the MFP for us, market facilitation.
And I was kind of a big opponent of that because I was like, this is dumb, because it was just flat out like, you got so much per animal you have, and the markets did crash. Like, it was terrible. But where I thought it was kind of dumb is, like, in a way, it kind of helped me because we were buying cattle at that time to then sell that fall when the markets really crashed. And there were several rounds to that. I mean, I didn't.
Would you get about 2.5 million or so? About what you got?
Yeah, I mean.
I figured, you just
farm, and I've got cattle on 2 farms, so I pocketed $5 million.
I figured, you got deep. I mean, we just get rich off of these subsidies.
No, I mean, it was like, a couple $1,000s. Like, it was like, okay, I mean, it was, hey, I would gladly accepted it, and may sound like a hypocrite, but I paid way more into the government that year than I got back out. So that's. Yeah, again, call me a hypocrite if you want, but until I get to the point where I'm collecting more in subsidies than I'm paying in tax dollars, I will feel zero remorse about snatching every.
We'll do an episode on subsidies,
but at the same time, like, I'd be glad if they just said nobody's getting this money anymore.
That's how I am. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
So Mitch Ford writes, hey guys, I've got a small cattle farm and I have one cow that did not have a calf this year. She's had several in the past, but unsure if she was bred and something happened or if she just never got bred back. Would you sell her or hold on?
So the right decision business wise,
Sell her.
make a business decision. Yeah, you sell her, because let's say, well, like with my herd, my cows all calve in the spring. The bull goes in with them around the 1st of May, 1st to the middle of May, stays with them 60 days. We check them. So say if we turn him in middle of May, we pull him out middle of July. We've got them preg checked by middle of August, 1st September, somewhere in there. Boom, she's open. I'm going to wait till I get the calf weaned, which is about now. I'm going to sell her, because I'm going to sell her before I have to feed her you think about this, because I'm weaning her calf off. So I've already got the money that she's made for last year. If I keep her, I'm going to feed her this entire winter. She's not going to have a calf next spring. I'm going to feed her all next year, which, even though during the spring, summer, and into the fall, it's not terribly expensive to feed her. I mean, she's still eating grass.
Yeah.
That's grass that I could have replaced her with a bred cow. Then I'm going into next winter, feeding her all the way through next winter. And then she'll have a calf spring of, assuming she gets bred next year. Maybe there's something wrong with her where, then you've really wasted time.
I'd say, man, yeah.
But then let's say, whatever, she gets bred next spring, summer to calve in spring of 25. Then I got a calf in spring of 25 to sell. So literally, she is going to do nothing but cost me money for the next 2 years.
I was going to say, yeah, 2 freaking years.
You'll never recoup those losses. Now, we are all guilty, especially in smaller operations, of, we know every cow. Some of them don't just have numbers, they have names. We don't always make great decisions when it comes to that, not the right business decision. So I would say, from a pure business standpoint, you sell her as soon as that calf is weaned, or maybe you even say, I'll sell them as a pair,
Yeah.
But typically, if you've had time to put her back through breeding season and then get her preg checked, she's probably got a calf that's old enough to wean or close to it anyway. So, yeah, I'd recommend you maybe save back an extra heifer that you weren't going to keep as a bred, or
you just kill her.
Sell her and go buy you a bred heifer.
Just
sale.
Kill her.
Well, and I kind of, when we first were saying, I thought he was going to say, got one didn't get bred back. He was going to feed her out this winter. And you have a question about that. Yeah, that's actually the cow I put in my freezer this past spring. Was that?
Yeah.
Was that situation? She was an open cow. And so I was like, well, I was one short on steers, relative to my kill dates. So I was like, well, we'll just kill a cow.
So you just went out there with a hammer and went, pow, and popped her right in between the eyes.
Something like that. I'll put her on trailer. I outsource my actual on it.
I still think, didn't we talk about, I think you could probably sell bow hunts for cattle. Didn't we talk about that?
Yeah, well, I think we did mention that. I don't know I think you can find people that might be willing to pay you to do it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you might get,
you could set up.
It's like they have high fence deer hunts.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. It'd be the same, and the better meat.
But
look,
yeah, part of me is like, well, they get you for like animal cruelty, and I'm like, well, is it really any different? Yeah, than these deer
can't
farms
be any different. And like I said, it's better.
I would never do this. But
I don't care what anyone says. Cow is better than deer. I love deer meat, but beef is better. And so, like, dude, I'm just imagining you could have the high fence place. You got your cows out there. You could even you need to rile a cow up a little bit. Like they need to be, because otherwise they just be it'd be too easy. So you need to rile them up some and get them run out.
Well, that would really.
You could have stands up, and
if you were doing that, that would really cross the line.
Maybe a knife. I think you ought to just let them do it with a knife.
If you were antagonizing them, then just so they could shoot them for sport,
it'd be like the guys that take the spears with the knives and stick them, like the matador type dudes.
Yeah. I
think this is
animal rights person,
idea.
I can't get behind that.
All right.
No, I'm hoping. I love venison. My buddy Lee that we went antelope hunting. I've had his meat since we got back because I went and picked it up. He came and got it. And I was telling him how good the brats were, and so I gave him some of my brats. I was like, I'm trying to get my daughter to shoot a deer this weekend,
so you can get some more brats.
It's like those brats.
Who did them?
Yeah, I'll shout out a local guy, Dave's Deer Processing.
Oh, he does mine. Yeah.
Have you ever had him make the brats?
No, but I love some deer brats.
Have him put your
Jalapenos?
I got jalapeno cheese brats and some that are like pineapple jalapeno
Oh,
cheese.
I'm not a big, I don't know about the pineapple.
You can't even, the pineapple, like you don't bite into it and say, oh, that's pineapple.
Yeah.
Like now they are, and this is antelope, which a lot of people are like the ground antelope ain't good to eat. Of course, we've talked about my damn diet, and I'm not eating bread, so I don't like put it on a bun, but I usually throw some on the grill when I'm cooking steaks or pork chops or something, and then I'll take those little brats, just kind of slice them up like as appetizers.
I like to do that. Yeah.
They're fantastic. I'm like, I cannot wait to do
I didn't know Dave did brats. Yeah, he does my deer.
Oh, he does. Yeah. So
I'm
and my daughter, she's like, oh yeah, Daddy, we going. I'm like, yep, we're gonna go.
Wasn't Dave? This is a guy in Arlington.
Our youth hunt is this weekend.
Yeah, this is a dude in Arlington.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know he
does he does a few steers for me every year.
He escorted me when he was a motorcycle cop to. Did you know that?
Oh, whenever you had the deal with the truck.
Yeah, he was one of the guys.
No, I knew he worked for Shelby County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, I knew he looked familiar, and then I was like, "You used to work with a guy, a buddy of ours," and he was like, "Who?" And I told him his name. He was like, "Yeah," and I'm like, I'm almost positive it was him that was with him because I had 2 motorcycle cops. It was a long story. I had a dude, he was shady as hell. I learned a lesson because it was like a Craigslist ad or a Facebook post. A guy had a Duramax for sale. I was probably 22, 23 years old or something at the time. And I just wanted a Duramax. It was 05. The guy was like, it's a perfect truck in great condition, all this stuff. And I went out there, we cranked it, it sounded good. And the dude was like a FedEx pilot, and his wife was a nurse. They lived in a nice house. I learned a valuable lesson on this deal. Like, appearances can be deceiving.
Yeah, don't trust anybody.
Yeah, he was a super nice guy. So I bought the truck, and I'm driving it home, and I get on the truck to get on the highway. I get on it, and it just dumps black smoke out. And I called him and I said, I thought you said this thing had never been programmed. He said, it hadn't. And I said, man, it's dumping smoke. And it had like no oil pressure whatsoever. And he was like, man, I don't know what to tell you, man. You bought it. And I'm like, I'm bringing this raggedy son of a bitch back. And he's like, no, I'm not taking it back. It's yours now. And so I'm like scrambling. Man, look, some people might think that this was the wrong thing to do, but I'll give a shout out. This is why I encourage people to bank, choose your bank wisely too. We got a local bank here that I still deal with. I finance combines through them and everything. Man, I called them and I was like,
stop payment on
I said, this dude has lied. Like I said, because I told him, I said, I'm going to bring you the truck back. You just give me my check back. And he was like, nope, not doing it. He was like, you bought it. That's on you.
And you had just left there.
I called him about 5 minutes from leaving his house. And he was like,
that's pretty shitty you're like, literally, I'm bringing it right back.
Yeah, I said, dude, I was like,
that tells you right there, he knew that the truck was.
He absolutely knew because it had, no oil pressure. Like he cranked it in his driveway and it sounded fine. But which I was also I probably didn't know what to even be looking for. First diesel I'd ever had. And so, man, it was funny. Yeah, I called him and I was like, I'm bringing it back. He's like, nope. So I called my bank at like 8:00 at night because this was after work when I went and got this thing. And they were like, we'll kill the check. Like he said, don't worry, we'll kill the check. And my banker was like, I will go in early and I'll terminate the check. So he said he won't have a good check. And he said I know what he's going to do. He was like, he's going to try to show up early and cash the check before.
Oh, yeah.
And so he said, we will kill the check. And, it was funny, man. The guy, he showed up at the bank, like right when they opened. And he goes, here you go. And they were like, okay. And they took the check and they went poof and stamped void on it and gave it back to him. And he said, y'all will be hearing from my lawyers. And I called him again. I was like, dude, I'm about to bring the truck back. And he was like, I'm not taking the truck back. You this, like all this stuff. And I said, I've already talked to the police. Like I called my police buddy and I was like, man, I told him the whole deal. And he said, we'll escort you. Cause I was like, this dude's liable to come out and like beat the truck up and say that I like messed the truck up. So I said, I need y'all to escort me. He said, we'll escort you. We'll even file.
I would like parked it in his driveway and then videoed it. So like, look, everything is fine.
And that's what the 2 cops, dude, it was pretty cool. Like I was driving up there, and I got to like a certain area, and it was just 2 motorcycle cops sitting there waiting. And like I got up close, and they were like motion for me.
Like you were President Biden.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. And which the guy was like, man, why you ain't no reason to get the police involved. And I said, man, I'm just getting the police involved just to cover my ass. I said, I'm bringing the truck back. They're gonna file a report that everything is safe and good. And he was like, well, you're going to be hearing from my lawyer. And that's been a good 10 years ago. Yeah, I never heard from his lawyer.
I'm not certainly not a lawyer and don't know all the legalities, but I know like when, and obviously you're buying it from an individual, but I'm pretty sure.
The 30-day lemon law?
Yeah. And even like I had a buddy that bought a truck similar, but he bought it from a dealer that was like, and it seems like even on used vehicles, and it may be different state by state, but you've got like, I don't know if it's 72 hours or whatever, where you can just bring it back.
Yeah.
Assuming you don't like put like 5,000 miles on it in a weekend or something.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you can just bring it back. No questions asked. And again, don't anybody.
Well, I called him in about 10 minutes, like maybe 5. It was like 5 to 10 minutes.
Because a buddy of mine had trouble with that. And he was like, no, he's like, I'm bringing this truck back. And, and he had kept it like overnight, but it's kind of the same thing. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good deal. So Dave's helped you out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was the cop, but I didn't.
He was the first time I took steers to him, he was telling me, because at that time he was still the sheriff, working for the sheriff's department, and but he was doing, he started doing deer processing and was getting into doing beef and pork and everything on the side.
Yeah.
But said he was like just a few months away from retiring, and he was going to do the meat locker full time. And so now that's where he is. Yeah. Well, it's a good deal.
Yeah. I did feel like
mention that to Dave next time.
Yeah. Ask him about it. I felt like a gangster though, rolling up into the neighborhood, because it was literally like just 2 motorcycle cops guiding me through there.
Like the president, like rolling up.
That's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah.
All right. So Don Wilshire writes in, Bobby, where can I find the hook you use for holding a calf leg up when you castrate them?
And I apologize if he's one of the people that's also emailed me asking about that. Everybody wants to know that. And so, man, that was custom made by my dad.
Oh, really? Just heat up some metal and bend it?
Yeah. And so most people want to know, I'm like, man, I can get you pictures, dimensions, all that. You're going to have to make one. But it's also got me at, like, there wouldn't be hard to make. Like, that could be a wintertime project.
Sound like you could make some money on that.
Yeah, like sell them on my website.
Yeah.
With my hats.
Dude, you ought to do that.
For people that don't know, who hadn't watched my YouTube and just have no idea what we're talking about, it's a hook for whenever you're castrating a calf, bull calf, obviously, where you just hooks. I mean, it's just a hook. I don't know other way to say it, on his foot, and then we use it. Put it over a little pulley, and you just pull his leg up, and it's out of your way.
Yeah.
And then. It's tied on, just cotton rope, and I kind of dally it off, and I can castrate it completely by myself.
Yeah.
Doing that. You don't need anybody to tail jack.
Call it like a Wiener hook or something. Need like a good catchy name for it.
That might be
the Wiener hook
with a good name.
Hey,
but I am amazed, like, man, because everybody's like, I've never seen one of those before.
Really? I'm used to it even out here.
Well, but it's because it's always that one.
Okay. That's the same one that was out here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know
where my dad anywhere he went. And, he doesn't do any cattle work anymore. And so I use it. And
okay.
But I will.
Wow. I figured that was like a common thing.
So can you forward me his email?
Yes.
And I will get dimensions. Of course, the main dimension you need is how heavy the rod is. Cause you want it to be soft enough that you can bend it, because every now and then, if it's a smaller one, I'll just bend it in, close it up a little bit, and every now and then want to kick around on it and mess it up. But yeah, got it.
Well, that oh crap, what was I about to say?
I'll take some pictures and get dimensions for you.
Okay. That's when I think some people watching or reach out, submit your idea of a name for it. If you have a good catchy name, we'll send you a hat.
And if you're not sure what it is, you can go back and watch. I mean, I've got it in several videos. Anytime we're castrating, what could we?
We'll send them a hat. We got some stickers. We'll send you some swag, and Bobby Have send you $100.
Speaking of that, by the time we record again, we're gonna have a winner.
Yep, and we have had a lot of entries,
which I'll ask you because I don't know these details. So the drawing ends as we sit here and record in 5.5 days. By the time this episode airs, it'll be just about exactly 5 days.
Yeah.
So will we draw the winner and announce it next week?
I don't know. No, I'm not sure. This thing may automatically do all that. It's a platform that I'm using.
We have no idea.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I have no clue.
There will be one winner.
There will be one winner.
It says that on the page.
Yeah, there will be one winner. I don't know if we do this, like if we have to set it or once the timeline runs up, if it automatically does it.
Yeah.
But it's a giveaway program. So you can, it's professional.
But y'all need to, if you're listening to this, I guess it ends 5 days from tomorrow. It'll be well, I guess you said at the end of the month.
At the end of the month.
So
November 1st, I think, was the deadline. That gave us the full month.
So assuming you're listening to this, relatively soon after it drops, go to the website, talkdirtpodcast.com.
It's on the freaking home
It's
page.
a huge pop-up that comes up. Click to enter this giveaway. It doesn't get any more self-explanatory than that.
And I'll tell you, if you are really wanting it, you better do the extra entries because we got some people that obviously they want to win.
Yeah. And if this is your first time listening, you're going to be in studio with us. We're going to pay to get you here. Assuming you don't live in Mozambique
Saskatchewan.
Or somewhere.
Yeah. Hey,
is that a disclaimer on there? U.S. residents only?
No, I was going to say, we might have we got some Canadian, we got some European listeners.
What if they're from North Korea?
We have some Australian.
Are we going to get them out of North Korea to get them here?
Yeah, we might have to send a team of I know some guys in the military. Might have to send some DevGru guys to go get them. All right, let's see. This guy, Herman, he just writes in, he says, you should look into finding a sheep person to graze your cover crops. So I read that because, me and you've talked about this, I would love to graze my cover crops. That is something I truly wish that I could do, but it would be a logistical nightmare for me around here. There is very few, me and Derek were even talking about this the other day, there is very few farms that would provide what I need. One, I don't have water on any of them.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's always been my thing with cattle. It's all right, I got to have them where that water reasonably available.
Yeah.
Of course, the fences are one thing. And then it's not just the perimeter fences where you throw up some electric fence. Then you got to have a gathering pen.
Yep.
Whenever time comes to get them off there.
If I owned 1,000-acre block,
yes,
it would be awesome because you could rotate them around. It'd be that's your white oak pastures guy. They all talk about that. It's but they've got that dude owns 5,000 acres right there.
Well, right, and that's where and I love YouTube for this purpose. Just you see how different things are in different parts of the country, and in some parts of the country. And I don't know all their details, but I watch Sunny Farms. They're up in east central South Dakota. And they pretty much can graze all their crop ground. I don't say all of it, but a whole lot of it, which I don't know if they do as much cover crop up there, but they graze all their corn stalks.
Okay.
Pretty much all their corn stalks. Once they've harvested it, they'll bale some of them.
Yeah.
Because they'll use it for bedding. They may grind some of it for feed. But if they're not going to bale the corn stalks, they graze them because there's some feed value there. But yes, it's all their ground is right there. Relatively speaking, and it's all flat. I'm sure it's probably mostly in at least half sections or full sections. For us, because where you work, 1,000 acres, 1,500 acres?
Yeah, around 1,400, and it's in 30 fields.
Yes, and stretched over 2 counties.
Yeah, it's literally.
It's yes.
Some of the farms, this is what I told Derek. I said, I'd be laying in bed. Because, actually, the farm we just finished yesterday, it takes nearly 30 minutes by truck to get to. And I'm I would be laying in bed thinking, I have 2 strands of hot wire holding in these cows 30 minutes away from here.
Yeah. And, even theirs where they have to, cross the highway with them sometimes. They just cross the highway with them. They just stop traffic because they're just moving them from one huge block of ground right across the road into another huge block of ground.
I would I would love to do it. I really would love to be able to do it. And it would be, if I could figure out a way to do it with 5 head of cattle, just enough where they're going around munching, they can shit and do the thing, maybe. But the big idea that I kind of have after this year So I had that one field. I planted all of my beans green. Well, I had one field in particular that they actually used to cut it for hay, and then they wanted me to start row cropping it. So I started row cropping it. Well, I still planted green. It was really, really woolly this year. I had a guy reach out, and he wanted to bale it. He asked if I cared if he came in and cut it and baled it. And I told him I didn't care as long as he got it out of the way before I went in there.
Yeah, we talked about it, yeah.
Yeah, well, it was great. Like when I planted it. Now, the disadvantage is you lose that mat of cover.
Yeah.
Like you don't have that mat of cover.
Well, and he's taking some nutrients away.
Yeah.
Not. Yeah.
Yep. But the beans out there cut about 62 or 63 bushel an acre, and it planted great and it harvested great because the ground was clean. But it did get me thinking. I'm like, dude, this is where there's so many different streams you can think of to kind of change your operation. Like, honestly, if you had the crew, you would need the crew. But if you had the necessary crew and the equipment, it would be something kind of cool to have certain farms that you, instead of spraying them and terminate them, you literally cut it, bale it, and then you could sell the round bales.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go in and plant it. So you would be double cropping it essentially.
Oh, well, and you could do that, yeah, with
like triticale and all that. Can't you do that with that?
Yeah,
don't people
Timothy,
around? Yeah.
There's, triticale. Now, the tricky thing, a lot of people, and two, the time of year you're having to do it, we have a hard time catching a dry window. And I found that out last year because I tried to do some ryegrass hay.
Yeah.
And actually a buddy of mine told me, he's like, now a lot of people don't do it for dry hay, they do it for haylage. I was like, well, just the dry hay isn't as good a quality. He's like, no, you just can't get it dry.
Yeah.
Like in
because it keeps raining. Yeah.
Yeah, late April, early May, whenever you're probably needing to do that.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to then get a crop planted in behind it.
Yeah.
Because the odds of you catching a window,
that's why I say
several days to get it, it's dry enough for you to get in there and mow it.
Yeah.
Without rutting things up, and then give it 2 or 3 days to dry, and then getting it baled is tough.
Yeah.
You may, and I don't know, like some of that stuff depending on the stem and all, you may need to use a mower conditioner.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, you can do that. That's not too big of a deal. We typically use a disc mower, but I mean, and you can bale it wet. I don't know anybody just immediately right around here that does that.
On that one, you'd almost have to, I feel like, because if you windrow it up, you ain't planting through a windrow. Like that's where you would run into, like, the timing would be the biggest thing. Like it would never be something I would be like, I would do this across all my acres, but like, if you had the crew again to do it, you could do it on a few fields.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be an interesting thing to try. But that Herman was one that wrote in that. He also wrote another one. He said, I just started listening, enjoy it very much. I live in Southwest Missouri. Keep up the good work. Appreciate you reaching out, Herman. Again, we do encourage you, all of you, go to talkdirtpodcast.com, contact page, submit your questions on there. All right, we got another one here. We'll get one more question in. Dylan McKittrick writes, 100% correct on the Nutramax shout out. Logger Sawmill Farmer. That's a pretty good spread.
That is.
From Lancaster, South Carolina, where Nutramax is located. My girlfriend works in events for them, and they are just as Christian-based as they seem to be. Listen every week to the podcast. Started on Hurricane Creek YouTube. Watch that every week as well. Great content on both. Bobby Lee, I haven't forgot the dig you said on the logging around your pastures. Probably talking about the fences or something.
Yeah.
LOL, just kidding. That one was a mess. We aren't all like that. Some do a good job.
No doubt. Yeah, it's just the crew that they had.
Yeah, some do a good job on harvesting that timber crop and getting the next crop of trees growing. Just takes a little longer than corn. Not sure on Tennessee, but the timber business is South Carolina's biggest agriculture industry. Long comment, I know. Keep up the good content, fellas. Hey, Dylan, we appreciate it. And I will say that a guy timbered my farm over there on Drummond's Road, and they did a great job. They cleaned up really well, and they actually went around and like even pushed back on some of the grounds that I gained some acres out of it. They did a great job.
I may be, because pretty much both properties that my wife and I just own together that we graze cattle on
Need to be timbered.
Timbered, yeah. I mean,
well, that'd be the one.
It's kind of like one of those things. Like, man, is it worth doing it? But
yeah, that guy did a good job.
Like I say, I need some dozer tractor just to push back all the freaking trees that have blown down. And yeah,
getting a timber truck in at your house would be fun. That gosh dang road.
They timbered the place next to me, and
I hated driving a big truck down that road.
Yeah, they
Does that tree still jut out? I know it does in that curve.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, that tree. It's like the Grand Canyon, or like just basically a straight drop off on the other side of the road.
And like talking about the storm damage, all those trees that have fallen. I had a huge pecan that fell, which it wouldn't have been one that I would have let them cut because it was like right in my barn lot. It's kind of had a little bit of sentimental value, but it's mostly like just enormous oaks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, yeah, it's just money that's just falling down.
Yeah, you need to do it before the tornado comes and gets it. We're in Tornado Alley these days.
Yeah.
All right, we'll read the last one here. This is not a question, but this is just worthy of a read.
All right, I like those kind.
Rodney Todd writes in, I'm rooting for the skullet. If I walked into a doctor's office and he had a skullet, I would know he was my people. You're getting a little shaggy back there in the back.
Oh yeah. It's. I'm gonna have to reach out to your mom and
I told her you were gonna get her to do the skullet.
I'd be honored for her to do it.
Now, are you gonna go when you go full blown skullet? Are you gonna shave the top?
I mean,
or are you gonna let it?
She's the hair expert.
Just let her just say, "I want a true."
I feel even weird to say this, but like, what do you think would look the best?
Yeah, like what's the best skullet? You need to take a picture of Hulk Hogan.
But I feel like he's completely slick on the top.
He is. That's what I wasn't sure if you were gonna do that.
Well, I think his is like because he's. And I mean, I ain't got much up there, but it's not just slicker than a baby's bottom, you know.
What's the woman think about it?
Yeah, she's just like, my brother probably gives me more hell than anybody.
What does he say?
He's like, good God, put your hat back on. and wearing a hat, because I'm bad about, and I've gotten in this routine since I've shaved my head for like the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, where I wear a hat to work, and then I take my hat off when I get there. 'Cause, man, I never had any hair, and now I kind of wear one because it looks weird. But then once I get to work and I've been wearing a hat, and it's kind of like it looks. And again, I feel weird even say it. It looks better
after you've had the hat on.
Well, no, if I haven't ever put a hat on,
gotcha.
Because then I'm just like the typical middle-aged balding guy.
Yeah,
it's like got a bit of a comb over.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I wear the hat, it kind of makes it look all greased down and whatnot.
That's hilarious. I can see him giving you crap over it.
Yeah.
Well, you stay strong, man. Stay strong.
Well, now I'm almost like I'm like, you know what? I might even just do it into a ponytail. Like,
well, Emerson was putting my hair in a ponytail the other day. Like, my biggest annoyance is my hats don't fit good anymore.
Yeah.
Because my hair is so long. Like, literally.
You just got thick hair.
Dude, it truly comes all the way down. Like I have to wear a hat now.
When did you last have a haircut?
I don't even remember. It's been a long time.
Okay. Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, not only am I jealous that you have hair, but I'm pretty sure yours grows extremely fast. Because I haven't. I last shaved my hair up sometime in June.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I had gotten shaped up. I don't know. My mom said I'm a terrible ad for her business because I don't hardly ever get a haircut and I just look scraggly all the time. So,
well, other than me trimming it just around my ears just to keep it off them.
Yeah. Mine does grow fast.
How much more civilized I feel like I look after I just trim it around my ears.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, wow.
Well, when you got the skullet in a ponytail, you will be true 80s villain, movie villain.
Well, and I keep looking back and I'm like, in some of these movies, that dude didn't look that ridiculous.
They look pretty awesome.
Like a villain. But
and you already got the mustache.
Yeah.
You got the kind of villain mustache.
Yeah.
Well, we're all rooting for it. We're not going to take another question. We're at an hour. We got a good, I was looking, we've got a really good specific question for the next one. So I'm not going to dive into it yet.
We plan on doing Skinwalker Ranch. We'll do our Halloween episode just a couple of days after Halloween.
Yep.
But
I've got the,
and yeah, we'll probably have a winner to announce, or we'll be real.
We should.
We'll be right on the.
Yeah, because what date is that? That'll be next Thursday night.
The 3rd.
Oh yeah, we should have a winner by then.
No, we'll be recording on the 2nd. It'll be dropping on the 3rd.
Yeah, I think we'll have a winner.
Yeah, the contest will be over. It's just a matter of have we officially drawn the name out of the hat.
Yeah. All right. You want to cue up the?
Oh yeah.
The commander.
Yep, himself. Like I say, one day we're going to put this on the.
I got a non-American shout out real quick.
2 words. Made in America.
Made in America. So I got 2 tonight. First one is not made in America. So I'm like, this is just a bonus. And it is, I just got to shout out Retro Rifle, man.
Yeah, this is a sweet shirt.
I just got this one in. And
I was looking at it, I was like, I think you just took that out of the package, the way it looks like it's creased.
Yeah, I did. Like,
which one is that?
This is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay. So I haven't seen that movie, which will shock no one because I haven't seen any movies.
I am a huge fan. Like, as soon as I saw the little drop, I was like, oh, yeah.
Well, why the Ace Ventura one, and actually the 2 that I've got the Ace Ventura and then the Escobar.
Yeah.
Because I was a big fan of Narcos. Yep.
Did you see the new one? Looks pretty sick.
The one I really wanted was the
old Silence or whatever.
Well, the one they were doing for the Dia de los Muertos. I'm amazed you don't have this one. It's black with the skulls.
Oh, I know. I saw that. No, I didn't get that one.
It sold out before I could. They had another one recently that I was like, ooh, and I just.
Well, the old Silence is pretty cool.
Because they sell out so fast, I'm good about it. I'm saying like, all right, I'm gonna wait like an hour. And then if I go back on there and they've still got them in stock, I'll go ahead and buy it.
Hell yeah.
They never do when you go back.
I have like 7 of their shirts now because they every one they drop. They also play on my love for film of all things too. Like I'm a Once Upon a Time. I love that movie. Like that is the best. I will actually say this right here. I think that's the best role Brad Pitt has ever played.
Really?
Yes.
I need to watch it then.
Dude, it is about the Manson murders. Yeah, I like that. I
almost bought the Magnum PI one a week or 2 ago.
Yeah. But it's kind of centered around it's right around when the Manson murders happen. Okay. But in typical Tarantino fashion, like I know you saw Inglourious Bastards.
Yes.
All right, so at the end of that, spoiler alert, that movie's been out a long time, so you can get over it. But they kill Adolf Hitler in the end of it. So, like, in the end of his movies, the guy that you want to die usually gets killed. And that's what happens. Same thing happens in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It is not like a savage, brutal film until about the last 20 minutes. And then it gets savage and brutal. Like, Leonardo DiCaprio kills a guy with a flamethrower at the end of it. Like, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, man, I do. I like that one.
Yeah.
I am a fan, which, I love the skulls, but...
well, and I'm not like the skull guy like you, and even I was like, man, that's a pretty sweet shirt.
Yeah. The old Silence I did pre-order, like when they did the other one. Man, I like that. Is that one still out? Is it out of stock?
Yeah, I think it
see, they're bad about like the ones that really fly out. They like, you never know when they're coming back.
Yeah.
But Retro Rifle, this is the shirt. They base them off. For anybody that doesn't know, they base them off of like, not always off of movies, but if they're based off of a movie, it looks just like the shirt, but like this one has revolvers hidden kind of in the pattern.
Yeah.
Like, and
the little, what are those trees called? The little,
like the Japanese, is that like the Japanese trees?
Yeah,
what are those trees called?
I can't remember my Karate Kid.
I just watched the Karate Kid like just a few weeks ago, but I don't remember.
You keep talking about the shirt. I'll look it up.
But that's like the revolver that one of the Manson followers tries to use in there, and Brad Pitt kills him with like a can of dog food or something. But so check them out, Retro Rifle. They're just cool. They're not made in America, but I'm pretty sure they're not made in China at least. But they
bonsai tree.
Yeah, dang, how did we not think of that?
Yeah.
Dang, that kind of makes me mad. But check out Retro Rifle. They're awesome. I wear them to church. Like I was sitting in church one day.
I wear them to work. Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome, and it was funny.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, "There's guns on that shirt."
Yeah,
yeah.
That's always what I was in church one day, and
but they say that because you don't realize it at first.
Yeah,
you have to look close.
Yeah, like a lot. There is some where it's like clearly it's a gun, and like this one. Honestly, people probably wouldn't notice the revolvers unless they were really looking.
No, they're more obscure in that one than just about any.
Yeah.
Now that I see them, it's like, oh yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah. But like at church there, that's what I had a dude behind me. He was like, he tapped me after service and he goes, man, my wife, she was saying she liked your shirt. And he said, so then I looked closer and I noticed the one I had like an M60 machine gun or something on it. And he was like, he said, and then I noticed it had guns on it. And he was like, and then I really liked the shirt. So I'm like, yeah, man. So
he was like, that shirt's pretty gay looking.
And then he's like, wait a minute, now that shirt's awesome. Yeah. Like, that's the thing with Retro Rifle. They like cross that line. And seeing I've paired it nicely with my Timex T80. Yeah, I was like, let me bust out the T80 watch. But the American company is one we have highlighted before.
Okay.
But we just had the
we're going to circle back.
Yeah, we're going to circle back.
We're keeping with the Biden administration.
That's right. Thing. That's right. But we just had that crazy crap happen in Maine, that freaking shooting. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, dude, it has really got me thinking about, like, I mean, I am literally always armed, but Alien Gear holsters. Did you ever get you any of their holsters?
Yeah.
All right, man.
I've had one for a long time. Like,
okay. Yeah.
Back at, I mean, I don't know how long they've been around, but I've had one
early on. Centuries.
I've had it for 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
600 or 700 years.
That's what I figured. 600 or 700 years. Well, they make, I mean, in my opinion, I think they probably make the best holsters, and every ounce of them is made in the USA. Like, you know, that was one of the last podcasts that I did on Living Fully Loaded was with the two guys from Alien Gear. Yeah. And they were like, they're awesome, man. Like they make everything in America. Like they have a whole department of like, this is their Kydex people, this is their stitching people, this is their leather people, like all in the USA, all in their warehouse. And their values are like exactly there with ours. So Alien Gear holsters, and they have holsters for everything. You know, I bought that Colt Python revolver, and I don't have a holster for it, and I got to look in Alien Gear. I'm pretty pumped to get this holster in. Doubt that I'll go wear it out in public, but it's a canted chest holster for the Python. I mean, I need to wear it with this shirt. Like, I feel like it would look good right here, like go to Subway or something and just have the Colt 357 on my chest.
I'm sure you've seen the Pat McNamara where he's he does the basic dude stuff.
Yeah.
He's talking about people who open carry in public. He's like, that's basic douche stuff.
Douche stuff, yes.
If you wore the chest holster.
Oh, man, if you paired it with the right shirt.
I mean, it depends on where you wear it.
And it's the 6-inch barrel. Like, it's not the short barrel. Like, it's like the big, full-size
and there are people around here, God bless them, and I respect their freedom and right to do it, but they would walk in the grocery store like that.
Yeah, there absolutely is.
Not trying to be ridiculous. Like,
my good buddy, and he listens to this podcast, so he'll know I'm talking about him. Early on, when we were like, got old enough to start carrying guns, he had a 44 Magnum. I think it's a Taurus 44 Magnum. And he always talked about how he wanted to carry it, like open carry it. And I was like, you would be the first guy that would get killed. Like, yeah, because they're like, if I'm a bad guy and I'm busting up in a joint, like, look at, and I
big heavy ass.
Oh yeah. It's like a cinder block on your hip. Look, I will open carry sometimes. Like this past Saturday.
I do, but I'm usually still relatively, when I say open carry, I'm outside the waistband.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm not completely open. Like this time of year, which not counting days like today when it was 83 degrees, but yeah, I've got a long sleeve shirt untucked or a sweatshirt or something.
Yeah.
Over where I can when I get out and go in the store, like I make sure my shirt's pulled down.
Well, that's
like
that's
you gotta
how I
be
do.
looking for it to see it. Or I'm wearing a jacket, you know.
Saturday, I hauled a load of grain, and I knew I was going to haul that load of grain, and then I was done. For some reason, I was feeling extra spunky. I always carry that Amtac Northman fixed blade on my right pocket. I got a switchblade in my left pocket, and I just love this gun. I bought a Springfield Prodigy. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Man, I love that gun. And I've got a black, I don't know, that is my one complaint. Alien Gear does not have a holster for it. Then I talked to them.
It's new, yeah.
It is, because I talked to them on the podcast about it, and they were like, we're going to get one. So I've got like a black Scorpion holster for it, but it's outside the waistband. And I even was carrying a half-face blade karambit in my like appendix carry. So I just was like feeling extra spunky that day. Like I had 3 blades on me.
You're gonna be like in the movies when they like think they've got you disarmed
And you just keep setting stuff out.
They're like another one in your boot.
Yes. Yeah. Like, I mean, and it was, and I even had
the bad guy thinks he's got you disarmed.
Then I get him, I gut him with that karambit. After I spin it around, you got to spin them things. But, I open carried them, but I did have to go in a gas station, and I wore a retro rifle shirt too. Man, I wore that Field Ethos gin shirt.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good shirt. I pulled it over it, so I kind of had it over the shirt.
Somewhere like if I know like Saturday, I'm gonna be out on the farm all day, because if I'm carrying concealed, I'm usually inside the waistband. It's not uncomfortable, but like if I'm out like working on the farm, like it's not great.
Yeah.
So I'll carry outside the waistband. And but yeah, inevitably, like I'm out on the farm, but I need to run in the gas station.
Yeah.
Or something. So just to have a shirt untucked.
That's what I do. Whatever. Yeah, I just chunk it over it.
Which I guess I don't know what the definition of open carry is. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know if your shirt's over it. I don't know if they consider it open carry.
So I may not ever actually open.
I don't go just full Western cowboy and like pull my shirt up over like and tuck it in underneath it so that everybody can see my gun on my hip. Like,
yeah, I think that kind of defeats the purpose.
I do too. Yeah,
I want any potential, terrorist, criminal, whatever you want to call them, to be guessing.
Yep. Is that guy armed? I don't know.
How many of these dudes in here might have a gun?
And while he's guessing, then I'll pull out that Prodigy, and I actually had the extended 20-round clip in it, so I'll pump 20 rounds into him with 9mm hollow point. That's right. All right, but I say all that to say, get you some Alien Gear. Alien Gear, the Prodigy is on again because it's so new. Is probably the only reason, because they have a holster. They have over 500 gun model holsters.
Well, and too, not going to go too far down a rabbit hole. But yeah, the whole thing that led you to say that, talking about that deal up in Maine. I saw somebody posted on Twitter or X, like, tell me the reason for this, and don't give me the typical normie responses of, we got too many guns or mental health.
Yeah.
And I said, it's evil. Like, evil has always existed. Evil will always exist.
Yep.
There is no changing that. Like, we can do some things to lessen the amount of evil, but evil will always exist.
And it will always find a way. That's the thing.
And there's, I believe that kind of evil, there's only one way to counter it. And that's, good people acting out forcefully.
Yeah.
Which I don't turn on the news. I caught the headlines that happened. How was it resolved?
It hasn't been.
Oh, he's still on the loose?
I'm pretty sure he's still at large. Wow. He was in the military. He was an Army reservist or National Guard reservist. And if I read right, he was a firearms instructor. But it was some crazy stuff, man. Like, he had been in a psych ward basically earlier this year. He said he was going to shoot up a National Guard armory or something.
Yeah.
And
so the mental health thing is a real thing there.
It's a real thing.
I saw where somebody commented like, because somebody, of course, typical people, the knee-jerk, we need more gun control. And they're like, well, he actually had these guns illegally. So your laws didn't stop him. So,
yeah.
Yeah, more laws aren't the answer.
Well,
and that's my thing. Like, evil will find a way.
Yeah.
If he wouldn't have done it with guns, he would have blown them up.
Jumped in made a car, made a bomb, jumped in his car, drove into a crowd.
Yeah.
I had a guy message me, and he may be listening, and I'm assuming he's in. We actually have some European listeners.
Yeah.
And he responded to, I guess, my story I shared of the article, and I was talking about you need to carry. And I said, I carry knives and guns. I mean, y'all just heard, I carry I have an arsenal on me. My pants barely stay up half the time. But he said, you're living in fear. These things don't happen often in the UK. And I said,
well, they sensationalize them here, like the news, because it's so.
There's a
left-wing.
narrative they're pushing. They got a narrative to push.
As much as they want to act appalled, they
love it.
Yeah, this was crack cocaine to them.
Yeah,
these stories.
Oh yeah, especially they gearing up for election time.
Yeah, they're going to blow these stories up as big as they possibly can.
Yeah, but I told him, I said, I don't consider it living afraid as much as I just try to be prepared.
No, I feel like I'm less afraid.
Oh yeah, I feel pretty confident. Like if I walk into a store or something, I'm like, I train. Like I shoot and I draw from my holster and shoot. Like
I've seen people joke about what are you afraid of? And I'm like, not a damn thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
I mean,
there's a part of me that's hoping I get to use the karambit. I just want to try that thing out. But so I told him that, and I said, and evil exists everywhere. It exists in the UK. They had a guy kill people with a machete, going on a machete spree.
Well, and I don't know all the details, and again, it seems like I have taken us down a rabbit hole, but one of the deadliest school attacks of all time, I believe, was in China by a guy with a knife and a hatchet or something. Evil exists. It will always exist. I feel like it's in everybody's best interest for you to be prepared should evil arrive at your proverbial doorstep, to at least give yourself a chance to take action. And do it with an American-made product.
That's right. That's right.
Also, hard to shift gears back to
get you some good Christmas toys
on agzaga.com.
Use the code TalkDirt, all one word, all caps.
Yep. And check out the other stuff too. But yes, it is. I mean, heck, it's basically November. Christmas is right here. Watch for those daily flash sales they're doing. I think that they're doing for other objects besides just the toys, but obviously. Toy season is on the way. They are your farm toy superstore.
Yep. Hey, I will say, since we're speaking of holsters, one of my pet peeves, one of the things that really gets me, and a bunch of people are guilty of this. I was guilty of this for years. Man, train shooting, drawing from a holster. I draw, when I go and shoot now, and I'm no expert. I'm not trying to sound like I'm a firearms expert, but man, I'll try to wear, sometimes I'll wear a shirt like this. I try to dress how I'm going to normally dress. And if I'm appendix carrying, then I'll have my shirt over it, and just train drawing your shirt up and grabbing it. Because man, the last place that I want to test myself is in the heat of the moment. Right. I want the situation to arise, and I want it to just pretty much be muscle memory of what I need to do, because that's going to be, if in all reality, I joke around, if my karambit gets drawn out, then shit has seriously hit the fan. If I'm resorting to my knives, then my gun has already been taken out of the equation. I don't want to get that close, ideally. But, I want to be as trained as possible, because in a realistic situation like that, I can't imagine probably a more adrenaline-packed, chaotic scenario than I'm actually pulling a gun to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
So I don't want to have to rely on myself to be well, this is what I'm going to do. I've never practiced it, but I'm going to try this. So shoot like you carry. So there you go. Alien Gear, holsters, Agzaga. Leave us a rating and a review. Man, I'm telling you, Spotify they're catching up to our Apple Podcast. Now, Apple Podcasts, we've gained like 3 over the last week or 2. But Spotify's up to like 155, and it's like 168 on Apple. So gaining there, guys. I want to see this competition go. Good luck to everybody on the giveaway. You still got time to enter, unless you're listening to this late. But that's all I got.
Yeah, we'll talk to you next week.